You guys, I feel like maybe these three Jaws movies don't take into account actual shark physiology or how they work.
No.
I feel like there's no science in these whatsoever.
No.
Dude, the Jaws and Jaws 2 was a fucking menace.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Like he really kicked up a notch. He was a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Well, especially the Eddie, when they killed Eddie, that was one of the coolest kills, where he just fucking drags him into the boat.
Yeah, dude.
That kill was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, the boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
It was like he knew that she was that his girlfriend was going to be traumatized watching him die.
Right.
And then decides to just shove him right there. That's fucked up, man.
Yeah, that was a crazy kill. I mean, it really has just become it's a slasher movie. That's what it ends up becoming.
Oh, yeah.
It's just let's have like 5 kills and like whatever happens in between.
Especially in 3. Like 3 is so very much like, oh, it's Jason at this point. Like,
yeah.
Like, okay, it's Jason underwater. It's underwater Jason. Which makes sense, actually. That tracks.
Underwater Jason as a shark.
Yeah, because I guess the first one, it goes without saying, fucking amazing. The character building, the writing, the acting, all that shit. Second one, you get a little bit of that because you still got Chief Brody. It's like, okay, like I'm still invested in this guy, and I still
definitely
care about
like
him.
Piggybacks off of the first one really well, because it's like, all right, you know that this town is how it is. You know that like the mayor's gonna be this way, which is fucked up, because you would think that the mayor would be like, wait a minute, we went through this shit already. Can we just handle it quickly this time? Like, go kill the fucking shark. And he's like, now hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Like, no.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
That was my favorite part. Is I'm like, how is nobody taking Brody seriously again?
Yeah,
were they here for the last movie? Like, do they not fucking remember what happened last summer?
Right.
All of these movies, except for the first one, because the first one you're like, all right, fine, whatever. You haven't dealt with this before. But the rest of these movies, that's the only thing I keep thinking is like, none of them, okay, no one believes them, sure. However, none of the main dudes, which are all Brodies, none of them are like, I've been through this before
So many Brodies.
multiple times.
Yeah.
Can you just trust me? It's a fucking shark.
However, there's a spot in Jaws 3 where Mike Brody gets chased by a shark.
Mm-hmm.
In the first film, he's a little kid, and Jaws goes right past him, right?
Yeah.
So, and he goes into shock. And then in the second movie, he gets knocked the fuck out, and his buddies almost like barely make it, pulling him in the boat, and he almost becomes Jaws food. And then he comes to, and like he obviously knows, like, oh shit, I almost got attacked by a great white shark.
Yeah.
In 3, he's working at SeaWorld.
Right.
He's getting attacked by a great white shark with him and his girlfriend. They jump onto the dock, and his first reaction is, what is that? It's his third encounter with a great white shark.
Right.
What is that? Bitch, you know what it is.
It's a shark.
It's a
He
shark.
went into shock and he got knocked out. He doesn't vividly remember what it was like the first few times. This is the first time he's stayed conscious after.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's he doesn't have visual recognition. He's never actually seen the shark.
No. Well,
so he doesn't know what a shark looks like. He works at SeaWorld, has no idea what a shark looks like.
No idea. I do like that we've seen the shark. It feels like part 2, they were like, hey, if the first one was really good, despite us not having a working shark, I bet the sequel would be even better if we just filled it with a fucking shark. And they were like,
right.
Not if it looks like that though, guys. Not if that's the shark animatronic you invested in.
Is it that's styrofoam. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a styrofoam shark. That's just some kids in a fucking shark suit.
Yeah. Like salt water won't affect this one because it's literally just like foam rubber.
Well, I love the third one for specifically the fact that, like, is it the third or fourth one? It's both about the same, honestly. But like at some point, it stops being a mechanical shark and it's just a shark on a stick that they're like, just sort of flop it around randomly, and it's like, all right, I guess we'll just take the best shots of that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jaws 2, at least they I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because of how just over the top, like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a fun little ocean adventure.
It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 of of the Jaws franchise. Which is like, as I was watching this, that's what I was thinking. Is I was like, Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw, then Spielberg's Jaws, Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street, like all of these iconic horror movies that could have just been one and done, that led to these ridiculous franchises. It's like, how did you even think you were ever going to recapture what happened in that first movie? They just went crazy with it.
I guess, is it Roy or Rob or Ron?
Roy Scheider, right?
Roy, Roy, So he was filming Deer Hunter, and he backed out of Deer Hunter. Yeah, he just he backed out and left
to do the second.
No, he I don't know why he left, but he just backed out and was like, I'm not doing that movie. I think while right before they started shooting, or right as they were starting to shoot. So he had a contract with Warner Brothers, I think it is. And they forced him to do part 2. Like they were like, we'll consider our contract done if you do Jaws 2.
So if you're not going to do Deer Hunter, then you have to do Jaws 2.
And he was like,
so he got Jaws 2 as punishment.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, fuck. I don't want to do that, but now he was forced to.
What's funny is in the beginning of the movie, you can tell that he's like not super into it. Like he's still Roy Scheider. He's still like, it's fine, but like you could tell his heart's not in it. But at the end of that movie, he's a fucking action god.
Yeah, he's dope.
Those kids revere him as a god now. Those kids, their whole fucking platoon of boats crashed. I'm sure that's not the right word for it, but they crash. They become a fucking giant floating shit fortress. And then fucking here comes Brody on his fucking boat. The fucking helicopter gets eaten, and Brody's like, I'm just gonna be the bait, I guess, and I'll just fry it. And then he's fucking monkey hanging on a fucking high voltage wire, jumps off with a shark
in a little raft.
Yeah. Just like, fuck it. Those kids, when they get back to land, they're like, do not fuck with Brody.
No.
That dude is fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's right. Jaws ate a helicopter.
Yeah. Here's the thing. All the fucking shit online really depicts it as like the shark jumping out of the water, and it doesn't.
No.
It's just kind of like, and eats a pontoon and pulls it down.
Yeah.
That's not eating a helicopter. That's just eating a helicopter.
It's funny. I've watched the first one, I don't know how many times, countless times. I've only seen the sequels once each when I was very young. And I wasn't even sure of that until rewatching them now. I'm like, okay, this is coming back to me.
Yeah.
And the helicopter scene, I'm like, how could you I couldn't forget that.
Yeah.
Like, like I clearly remember this. I had the same moment in 4 when what's his name? When her son gets his arm bitten off. I'm trying to remember his name.
Oh yeah.
That shit was wild.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was like, oh shit. I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh shit, I have seen this movie. Like, I clearly remember this. And I was like, I don't know, might be confusing it with Jack Black in The Jackal when he gets his arm shot off. So I was like, it looks similar.
It's a very similar stump, yes.
That's funny.
Little reaction too, just like a shredded off arm, like just freaking the fuck out.
That was supposed to be Roy Scheider dying at the beginning of part 4, but he said that Satan himself could not get him to be in Jaws 4.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
They tried to get him back for 3 and 4, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck no.
And 3 wouldn't have made any sense.
I didn't even want to be in 2.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I really like... This is one of the only movies that actually follows a family through all this bullshit. Yeah. And like, it's... I like 2. 2's okay. I kind of love 3 for...
I love all of these.
I
Because
love
of how
all
stupid
of
they
them.
are.
But
Yeah.
they're not good, but they
I
are
love
fun.
them for all the wrong reasons.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
3 is like, okay, cool. Like, we're genuinely now following this family through their life and watching their PTSD play out.
Yeah.
And it's like, first off, Dennis Quaid, amazing, so good. Like, absolutely carries that movie. He's the only reason that movie
doesn't know what the fuck a shark is, but
doesn't know what a shark
no
is,
idea.
but boy, can they fucking scuba dive. There's a lot of scuba diving in that fucking movie.
tons of it.
I like that movie, but man, I fell asleep.
Yeah, there's a lot of
there's a good chunk of inaction there.
Yeah.
Did you also?
It's action. They're definitely doing this. They're definitely like swimming in a straight line across the screen, and you can't really see it.
Did you guys also catch that? So from Jaws 2 and Jaws 3, in 5 short years, Sean goes from being a 12-year-old in part 3 to an early to mid 20s college student. In part 2 to part 3. Yeah. That was a fuck of a time jump.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about part 3 was that it takes place at SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Which is an actual registered
100%.
theme park. Like
so much so that like
did they say, we would love to be the theme park where this movie takes place. The theme park with such lax safety and security
you know what?
precautions that we let a shark in that kills multiple guests. And that we would love to be that park. Don't make it a fake park. Make it SeaWorld.
Considering the history of actual SeaWorld, it kind of lines up.
No, it absolutely does. Yeah. It's like, we're like, we've got this baby shark and we're showing it off to the fucking crowd. She's like, you can't do that. You're going to kill it. And they're like, oh, yeah, we did. We just killed it here in front of this crowd. Whoopsie.
So fucked. That scene is so fucked up. Like, they were like, first off, yes, I could totally see the random owner of that. Like, why would that dude be the owner of SeaWorld? But whatever. I love Louis Gossett Jr., but I feel like he's a little too street for this. He's like, hey, man, that's a fucking shark. Show it off.
It's even more cruel is, and this happens in real life, not the movie, but the 2 dolphins were nominated for a Razzie.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that's just mean.
Yeah.
That's so mean.
They were doing their best.
Yeah, they did their best in that fucking movie.
You know what? It's hard to direct kids. It's hard to direct animals. It is even harder to direct dolphins.
Yeah, they do.
Because the water, it's hard to like. You can't talk into the water. They can't hear you.
Yeah, and they don't speak English.
Some of them do.
Gotta get that in there.
I think they did better than some of the kids, though.
They did do better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, dude. Quaid is just high out of his mind on cocaine this whole movie.
Oh yeah.
He was asked about it in an interview. He said so in an interview he was told one of his previous quotes saying that said that he said cocaine was thinly disguised in the budget of movies throughout the 80s, and that Jaws 3D had the biggest budget for that. And he said he's high on coke in every frame of that movie.
Nice. That's why he carries the movie.
Yeah. There was I saw an interview with the executive producer, Alan Landsberg. He was asked about that and if it affected Quaid's performance. He said, yes, I believe we were all guilty. It flowed in southern Florida like snow, and the suppliers just wanted to be part of the fun, so they contributed to the drug use.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Here's the thing. Cool. Like, it was filmed at... I'm just gonna pass right over it. It was filmed at the actual... Weird parts of it were filmed at the actual SeaWorld in Orlando, and I can confirm that. Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, like it's said, but I can confirm that visually because I've seen that fucking jet ski show. Because I went to SeaWorld as a kid, and like that and the Polynesian dance, I was like, holy shit, I'm a kid again. This is crazy. That was the most fun part about it, is being able to relive the SeaWorldness of it all. Yeah. Because SeaWorld sucks now. But man, 80s, 90s SeaWorld was kind of dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were kind of ignorant to what
Yeah,
was
I was unaware of all the fucking torture and terrible shit they do.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a kid, I mean, like, you go to a zoo now, it's like, or when you're fucking 8, it's like,
when you're a kid, you're just like,
awesome.
oh, fuck yeah, animals I will never see anywhere else. That is cool, but also.
And now it's like, no,
not.
this shouldn't be in Tampa.
No,
This doesn't belong in Florida here, guys.
Yeah.
This should be moved. All of these animals need to be removed.
Well, and it's weird because the concept is that it's not the SeaWorld in Orlando. It's a new SeaWorld that is specifically just some tubes.
Yeah,
just some tubes.
It's mainly
Underwater
just
kingdom.
tubes.
Yeah.
Mainly just tubes.
Which, I mean,
also they do not. I've been through the actual tubes. They don't got fucking tentacles coming out of the walls and shit. That would have made it so much cooler.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. It got me wondering, like, is there any type of like place like that? I don't think I've ever, which would be cool if there was.
I don't think so. Not specifically.
Because I know
I've
also
gone through
have
glass tunnels in aquariums, but
I
don't think
they have sort of that setup.
I know at
the Orlando
SeaWorld,
one.
Yeah, I know they have the Terrors of the Deep, which is almost like that, but
it's not as big though.
No,
I think it's only one. I don't think it's physically possible to do that much tubing underwater because of these issues. Like, what happens if you get stuck in the middle? You're just fucked.
Yep.
Yeah, last time I went on Terrors of the Deep, I think I was in 6th or 7th grade. And you go down, or you go into it and you walk around and there's like, oh shit, there's a giant ass shark right there. And then you go downstairs and then there along the bottom of the tank, there's like a walkway that you just walk. So you're at the bottom and you're just like looking everywhere and there's all these sharks. And I remember going like, no, I'm never going down here again.
I really thought you were gonna be like, and I got ate by a shark.
Yeah. Well, that's what was going
the whole
through my
thing
head.
collapsed. I was trapped down there for weeks.
Yeah, I was like, this is
just real nonchalant, like, oh yeah.
This is a dumb idea.
And your severed limbs were floating around, but there was no blood for some reason.
Yeah.
Like when that guy's arm is just floating, the bones and everything. It looks like it's like outlined in Sharpie marker.
It was nuts. I do love that the first 3, the 4th one's the only one that's PG-13. The first 3 are all still PG.
Yeah,
and that body that they find in 3 is like, this is still PG gore. That's what we're getting away with. All right.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Which body? Which part?
The Overman,
the dude that's like floating,
the Tom of
in the
Finland looking
aquarium.
Fucking diver.
The arm or the eye popping out.
There was so many. Oh, that guy, that fucking guy.
Yeah.
There's
one
a
of
lot
many
of
scenes where I was like, why would SeaWorld sign off on this? Like, they're going to find a corpse in one of the fish tanks and it's going to scare all the guests away. Like, love it. Make sure the SeaWorld logo is big right above the glass there.
Dude,
I wish I watched this in 3D.
Me too.
There's something about the cheesy 3D gimmick that is that's awesome.
Yeah, it's very charming.
What is such a it's like it
feels like such an innocent time.
Yeah, it feels like such an innocent time. And like looking at that and then like, because I'm assuming that Friday 3D came out similarly, right around the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like Friday 3D understands the 3D so much better.
Yeah.
And like was it in that sharksploitation thing that he was talking about how the drawbacks of shooting 3D and like a shark has a dorsal fin, so like the 3D doesn't work because in order for 3D to work on a film, especially back then, you're essentially utilizing the frame. So if anything, like the fish head works supposedly, I don't know because I didn't see it in 3D, but the fish head supposedly works because it looks like it's floating through the screen. But a shark, you can only get the snout out because as soon as the fucking dorsal fin hits, it cuts off.
Right.
Because you can't see the dorsal fin. So you have like the lamest 3D shots ever of like anything that only will fit within the screen. So it's like a tentacle and a fish head, and like,
well, dude,
and it's so slow and like
Friday
floating.
3D was a year earlier than Jaws 3D.
Was it really?
Yeah,
yeah.
well,
82 and 83.
I'm pretty sure that Friday 3D is what kicked off the 3D like
craze
thing.
I'm sure it was definitely one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think when you guys mentioned earlier, I think it was you, Derek, is like these movies, I don't know, it made me feel nostalgic for a time that I didn't realize I was nostalgic for, because like they're just so goofy and silly, and I don't know.
It's also such a specific time, like the end of the 80s and the beginning of the 90s had a really specific vibe. And it's not captured in most of these movies, but this one, because it's in a theme park, because it's like it's more like a public movie as opposed to some of the other ones, it really captures the like kitschiness of it.
Dude, can we talk about the bar game of them pushing each other?
That looks fun, honestly.
What is that?
I can do that.
It's we're drunk trying to keep balance.
Yeah. It just looks so ridiculous.
Like we can't just have arm wrestling because it's got to be like gender inclusive. So it'll just be like your entire body pushing over.
You could potentially injure someone real easy.
It's just like such a clear scene of like, I don't know, just like do something.
As you're watching, I was like, is this a thing that people did in bars in this
script? It's just
period of time. It was this a very local thing where they were like, well, here where we're filming in this town, this is what people in bars do, and they're like, sure, let's just pretend that's a normal thing.
Might be the cocaine,
though.
It's probably just the cocaine.
Yeah, it was the problem. It was probably the cocaine. Okay, guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go. We're just action. What do we do?
The script is just they walk into the bar, they're playing some fucking weird ass game.
Yeah. I will say, like, part 3 had no right to make that shot of inside the fucking shark's mouth. Of the dude trapped in the mouth. While it's just rah, rah, rah. That shit is traumatic.
I saw that as a kid. And which is crazy when I think about it, because I had to have seen it on USA. And they left that in. Most of it, at least. And it must have fucked me up as a kid. I'm certain it did. I want to say I had dreams about it, but I blocked that out of my head until I saw the Sharksploitation documentary. And then I want to say that we mentioned it on the last one, and I was like, I remember it suddenly all came back. Watching it, I had
awful.
a physical reaction. I literally went, like I thought me up all over again. It just all flooded back in, and I was like, it's so fucking effective.
I thought that it was one of those ones where I watched as a kid and it fucked me up, but like, as an adult, like, it won't be that bad. It's not that bad. But then when I watched it the other day, I was like, no, that's horrifying.
It's the nightmare. You see it as a kid, and then you grow up and you're like, oh, it must have been not nearly as bad as I made it out in my head as a kid. And then you watched it and you're like, how the fuck did I not just scream and evacuate all my bowels as a kid? Like, what's going on?
I mean, like, think about
That's
it.
That's a good way to get out of a shark, actually, I bet.
That's a bear.
Shark's like,
right.
But like,
if a bear is attacking you, scream and shit yourself.
But like, think about that. Somebody has experienced that. Somebody.
We're not going to hear from them.
No, they're gone. They're gone. But somebody's has been trapped in a Jaws.
It's a good question. I wonder how many people have actually been attacked and or killed by a great white. Because most like great whites are, they're big, right? And they're pretty like deep. I don't think they explore the shallows like some of the other sharks would. And most shark attacks are probably.
I think most of them are like tiger sharks. I know there's been some hammerhead shark attacks here. But I don't know. I think most of the great white attacks are in Australia.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the, like what I was saying, the last episode of a lot of people who have done, obviously surfing, you're out farther, and then spearfishing competitions and stuff like that, you're out much farther than just at a beach.
Yeah.
But great whites chase seals and other fish like up on the shore all the time.
For sure. That's true.
So they could, but yeah.
There have been 351 known attacks and 59 fatalities.
And where? Like just all over the world?
All over, I guess.
Say it again. What's the numbers?
351 known attacks and 59 fatalities.
So I wonder how many of them are just one family. Are they just going after one family and like following them around the planet?
Great white shark attacks.
They moved from Australia to Florida and they all fucking migrate.
They followed them.
So jumping to Jaws.
AI overview is not available for this search. Weird.
I was on the like a Wikipedia list of victims, and like in the 2020s there was it's not a, I don't have a bookmarked or something. This isn't like light reading that I do before bed. You asked a fucking question. I found answers.
I found all of the victims.
But I can list their names. Yeah, but there was like one in May of 2020 here in California. It was a great white, and then one in July of 2020 that was in Maine. That was a great white. December of 2020 in Maui was a tiger shark.
Stephen King, man.
Yeah.
December of 2021, California, great white. December of 2022, Maui, tiger shark.
That doesn't count.
October of 2023, California, great white.
Oh, wow.
December of 2023, Hawaii, unknown. So
it was
just a dude with a really
white.
big mouth.
And then June of this year, Hawaii, unknown. So yeah, probably the same great white. One of those ninja sharks that we saw in these movies. It's all
the exact same great white.
No matter how aware of your surroundings you are, it's suddenly 5 inches away from you when you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was reading on IMDb, some of you guys might have already seen this, but you mentioned the shark following a family. So obviously Jaws of Revenge, that's the whole plot. I don't know.
Wait, really?
I don't know if this is accurate, because as we discussed in the Steve Kostanski episode,
no, it's
specifically Jaws 4. Only Jaws 4 is based
really
off
likes
Jennifer Aniston is
Jennifer Aniston wishes Roy Scheider the best in that.
But as we discussed in that episode, like obviously IMDb is not always accurate. But one of the things on there says the website TV Tropes coined the term voodoo shark, which is defined as an attempt to explain away a plot hole that ends up falling flat. The reason for this is that the explanation is a plot hole itself that only raises more questions. The name of the trope refers to a deleted plot point in Jaws the Revenge that was retained in the film's novelization, which explained the shark's motivation being the result of a curse by a voodoo witch seeking revenge on the Brody family after a scuffle with Michael.
Yeah.
So that's why the shark is attacking the family.
I genuinely wish that they had fucking just left that in.
Yeah.
Like,
that's awesome.
Is it stupid as fuck? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it potentially racist? A little bit.
Yeah.
But holy shit. That movie's already so fucking bonkers that
it's already so stupid. Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid.
The shark roars.
The shark roars. Michael Caine is in it, sorta.
Yeah.
Like it's so, that movie's so insane. Like,
I have a funny fact.
Just have a voodoo priest. Why not?
Yeah.
Why because I want to see them explain in film. Why is a voodoo priest fucking with these people?
Yeah. I want to watch the scene.
How does the shark, like, where is the shark initially? Because that's how they supposedly explain how it follows them on the plane. But like,
they just tapped into a shark. He was just radar shark just out in the ocean. He's just hanging out and he's like, oh, I got
shark
a mission.
Jar, bro.
Yeah, I got a new mission.
Yeah.
What were you going to say there?
Was tingling.
Oh, I don't know if you guys came across this. There's an interesting fact about the roar at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Where that roar is from?
Yeah, go for it.
So So I guess the sound editor or sound designer declined to create an original sound effect when he was requested to make like a shark roar, and he was like,
I love that
like,
he just declined. Like, no, I'm all right.
Well, he was just like, that's absurd. Like, I'm not going to make a sound for this. And he just ended up using a roar from a Tom and Jerry cartoon from 1946. And there's a clip of it on YouTube. You could see it of, like,
too good,
of Jerry
Holy
roaring,
shit.
and it's the exact same roar.
That's fucking great.
So much better.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be like, oh yeah, they used some lions and a fucking dog or some shit. Tom and Jerry roar is way. Also, I want to say, like, I was very aware of the roar because it's been a joke for so long now. Watching, I didn't even notice it.
Really? I thought it was going to be more.
Yeah, I really thought it was going to be like
an ongoing joke. So as soon as it happened, I was like, "That shark just fucking roared."
Yeah,
is it still roaring? I do love that the sound designer was like, "Absolutely not." Like, you realize that you're asking me to create a sound that doesn't exist, and it doesn't exist for a fucking reason.
But it was funny because I was watching it with my wife as she's like casually watching it as she was like doing something else. She's like, do sharks make sounds? She was so like confused and just like so like off-putting. Just what? Like I don't think they have vocal cords.
There's another cut of the movie. This is the first time I've seen this version of it because I watched it on Max. Where there's a different version so the scene that the scene where he explodes. And Mario Van Peebles, and Mario Van Peebles, he survives. That ending was reshot like a couple days after the movie came out. So the original ending, I saw the original ending.
It was after the first screening.
Yeah, no, it came out. You can watch the original version. Where he dies. Like it was released in theaters.
Oh, yeah.
So and then I think it was for the DVD, they went back and refilmed it and then replaced all of it. But the version I watched as a kid had the shark come out of the water and she impales it, and then there's a shot from like to the side where it's just massive amounts of blood just spewing from this fucking shark, and it was horrifying as a little kid to watch.
I saw it earlier today. There's a clip of it on YouTube.
Yeah, I meant to go back and watch that. So this was the first time that I watched this version, which is the main version. And I was like, oh, so I was waiting for the shot. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't seen this since I was a kid. And then it just explodes on impact. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
Which is great.
We gotta have a conversation about that specific scene since we're talking about
apparently
it.
There's
so much going on with that scene.
They explained the reason why he exploded was because of the electronic things that they had.
Because of the flashlight it aimed.
The flashlight.
They're fucking bro, I understand you guys are on a fucking strict budget and like you can't really like get set decoration or props really, but like those are literally 2 diving flashlights that are rigged Bluetooth or some shit. And like when you turn one of them on, it's gonna blow up the other one.
Just
technology's come a long way. Back in the 80s, flashlights were essentially grenades. People, it was really, I'm genuinely shocked they sold them like that. But that's, this is all based in fact, you guys.
I love they could read his heartbeat too. It's like, what's
I'm just gonna close them on. I'm just gonna read this this is from Reddit from Landlubber77. Obviously, like
I trust him.
Shout out. Yeah,
fucking hates hates fish.
Everyone
hates the ocean. Sorry. Go ahead. I only love land.
Fuck this ocean. Everyone talks about the roaring shark, and yes, that's ridiculous. Everyone talks about Michael Caine climbing out of the ocean with his clothes bone dry, and yes, that's ridiculous. But there are a few other more egregious things. There are a few other more egregious things nobody ever mentions. the inexplicable inclusion of this miniature shot. Miniature shots are supposed to be seamless and realistic looking. This one is neither, and the physics are so fucked in it. It's so blatantly obvious that it's a mini boat stabbing a mini shark in some asshole's sink, and they show it to you twice just in case you were sufficiently tricked the first time. Then, of course, the shark does what any shark not containing any combustible material does. When it's stabbed to death by a piece of inert wood, it violently explodes. Then to top it off, they completely this is why I found it, because I was like, I have to confirm this. They completely reused this shot of the shark from Jaws 1 sinking to the depths, complete with the wire and jagged piece of metal or whatever sticking out of it. Yep. They literally steal an entire shot from the original Jaws and pass it off as this shark sinking. And one final insult, this was fucking ridiculous. They used the least convincing matte paint sky backdrop I've ever seen. Yeah. I know it's hard to tell in that still image with the reflections on my TV, but next time you watch it, look at the ripples and tiny waves literally crashing against the wall behind them, and have the illusion crumble before your eyes as you see that they're clearly just fucking around in a water tank on the Universal lot. I love this terrible movie, and I'll watch it until I'm dead.
I immediately said that when I saw the sky. I was like, oh, this is at Universal. They're in that. Yeah. They're in Falls Lake. Like
100%. Yeah. It's so like you could have just like had like the where you have like the shot and the foreground is like crisp and the background is blurry. Just do that.
Yeah.
Do that. Yep. That's what it's for.
And make it real crisp so you can see that they are clearly, it's like the ending of the Truman Show.
Texture
it's just a straight up
of the wall.
Another plot point that was taken out of the movie was apparently there was a scene that was filmed that confirmed that Michael Caine was actually smuggling drugs onto the island to his plane.
Yeah. They definitely like alluded to it, and then it's like, oh no, mate, I'll just take nuns. What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I think they left that in the novelization too. I had read, but he just didn't make any sense. Michael Caine's clothes being dry, I think I had read that he said it was because they took too fucking long to reset the camera. And by the time they were ready to get that next shot, he was already dry in the sun. But he says he hasn't seen the movie, but he's seen the house that it paid for, and it's a very nice house.
He said I literally just watched the actual part of that, and he says they paid him $1 million for that role, which I'm not sure if that's enough. For 7 days, which is crazy because he got a lot done in 7 days.
And he missed his winning Oscar. He won an Oscar while he was filming, but their schedule was so tight that he didn't get to attend.
Yeah, that had to be fucking infuriating.
His quote was, "I had a nice little holiday, won an Oscar, and got paid."
Yeah,
it was a great.
And that's the thing. Like, you just get to go out to the fucking Bahamas and just fucking
Hawaii.
Okay, even better, I guess.
He literally took the role because he saw Fade in Hawaii on the script, and that was it.
He was like, all right, I'll go work in Hawaii. I don't need to read anything else.
I love that guy.
Dude, so good.
Such a badass.
It's absurd. And also, he's in the movie. Like, I understand.
Completely.
But it's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
You kind of expect with that kind of like response to it, and like clearly he knows it's a shit movie, but you would think that he'd suck in it, and he doesn't. He's still fucking Michael Caine.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome.
Incapable.
Yeah.
He's gonna fuck your mom.
He's gonna fuck everybody's mom.
He's gonna take her to some fucking local like dance party, and then
that's what he does.
He's gonna do his Michael Caine thing.
Michael Caine.
And then Dennis Quaid is gonna be like, hey, why are you trying to fuck my mom?
Some sharks just want to watch the world burn.
Towards the end, do you notice towards the end, Michael Caine and is it Lorraine Gary plays Ellen? Mm-hmm. They're both their hair is like blue. It's a little bluish. It was a dye that was in the tank that they were all in.
Love it.
Jesus. She is. Look, as I was saying, like, I like that it follows the whole family, but she is the weirdest part of 4. Like,
like, what is she doing?
She's
what was her plan?
I mean, hey, you know
what? Even before all the like, what was her plan? Like, what is going on with you? Like, I get you're fucked up because of shit, but like, trauma. Yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah,
But
And
she
then
has like
just
weird.
got 8.
You know what?
Telekin-
It starts to make sense. It makes sense. Telekinetic shark, and then you meet Michael Caine, and your trauma goes away, and then you're like, I gotta go kill this shark with a boat.
Yeah.
It lines up now.
Dude, I will say, like, the banana boat shark attack, that's horrible.
Banana boat shark attack was fucking great. All the shark attacks in that movie are great.
Fantastic.
Except for the dream sequence.
Yeah, the dream sequence was
you don't see
weird.
like it was just that was weird.
Oh yeah,
because when that was happening, I'm like, this sucks. I find out it's a dream. Like, all right, I guess it didn't happen.
My favorite part about the shark attacks in 4 is when, like, anytime that it attacks that, like, science platform thing, and the fucking, like, extra crew dudes are just like,
they're just watching
a shark. That's a shark.
They don't care. They're just hanging out.
I see, like, shark great whites aren't native to these waters, but I've seen them before.
Yeah, they don't care.
You know what's funny?
Oh,
go ahead.
No, you go first.
No, please, Josh.
No, you go first.
I think Revenge is the only one I hadn't seen, because it was the one I don't like. When I watched Jaws 2, there are certain scenes where I was like, oh, maybe I have actually watched this at some point. And then Jaws 3, I remember watching with Kimmy early in our relationship. She was like, it's fucking terrible and ridiculous 3D, and I love it, and we should watch it. I was like, okay. And so we were watching Jaws: The Revenge, and I was like, no, I don't think I've seen this one, because I would remember the roar.
Right. I don't think I'd
actual
seen it either.
shark with a grudge.
Yeah.
The fucking, like, telekinetic, like, link. I would know all this. But as we were watching that final sequence, I was like, oh, Jake's going to die. And I was like, we can't have another kid die. We can't have this guy die. We can't have her die. And I was like, but they got to take somebody that we care about away from us in this final act. And I was like, so Mario Van Peebles is going down. And then sure enough, shark pops out, chomps down on his entire fucking torso. Like, arguably one of the most brutal,
it was so
quick deaths. That
and the
any
whole
character in the entire franchise would have encountered. I was like, well, at least it was quick. I didn't feel anything, because that dude's fucking dead as
And then
hell.
it drags him fucking...
Just drags him under and is like tossing him like a dog with a fucking rope toy.
So fucking terrifying. Like, because that's a dude. That's for sure an actual dude. I don't know if it was Mario Van Peebles.
It's definitely not. No, you can tell. It's
definitely like a stuntman.
But like, he's being fucking drugged under the water.
Like, in a giant fish. Nuts. Like, it was fucked up. And I was like, well, at least he went quickly and hopefully painlessly. And then 10 minutes later, he pops up. He's like, I'm alive. Like, fucking how? How? You are in pieces. I saw you get, like, bit in half.
That'd be great. I don't remember now, which is funny because I just watched it like 2 days ago. I don't remember. Do they show his legs? Because it could just be that his torso is just floating in the ocean on that.
No. I mean, he's talking.
No, he's all one piece.
No. Talking is fine, but he might be legless.
I mean,
shock.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe it's just shock.
Yeah, he was. I think he was. I think he was good.
Yeah, I love that.
I think he was good.
In that scene, Ellen. So he gets taken, eaten by a fucking shark, and Ellen starts getting flashbacks of a bunch of moments that she'd never witnessed.
Right. Like the ghost of Brody is like, here's how I did it.
Like, it's just like,
to hype you up. It's a confidence boost. I'm giving you my memories.
Which I guess I was like, all right, the whole telekinetic thing, like maybe she's just fucking,
it's the shark. The shark gave her the memories. It was scared, and it was like, no, wait, this is what your husband did. I'm sorry.
I wonder, because
she's like,
obviously,
oh yeah, shark, fuck you, boat.
I wonder, like, how the shark got. I mean, I guess we could just explain it away by voodoo, because like how did that one random shark, like, okay, was it a family of shark? Because it's not the first shark, so it's got to be a family of shark holding a vendetta.
100%.
Family.
I mean, that. So in 3, obviously, like, there's a family of sharks, the mom shark and the baby shark. This was just a baby shark that couldn't get a wristband to get into SeaWorld.
Yeah, so he's like, God damn it.
So he had to stay out. He's like, fucking mom, you could have got tickets.
How the fuck did a shark get into SeaWorld where SeaWorld is in Orlando?
It went through the gate.
Yeah, didn't they show the gate that because it was like,
well, this is a different SeaWorld, right? This isn't the Orlando one.
Oh, okay, that's right, Josh. Thank you.
Right.
So
this
where
is the coastal one?
Okay, so because I was going to say, how did a shark get? I mean, Orlando's in the middle of the state.
Yeah, I think they show it's connected to the ocean, and someone like opened up the gate.
He took the same channel that Basin took to Manhattan.
That's right. Yeah, I always forget SeaWorld is on a lake. It's not actually on the ocean.
Yeah.
In Orlando, it's in the middle
Lake
of the state.
World.
Yeah,
Lake World.
Yeah,
Lake World.
Yeah, there's literally no sea next to
Lake World.
SeaWorld.
It's just the tube thing. It's all like murky and brackish, and you can see some like trout.
Yeah.
Jesus.
What a great idea to put SeaWorld in the fucking center of a peninsula.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you I mean, I can't even be funny about it. That's why the fucking whales don't have enough space.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to say the SeaWorld in San Diego, I don't think is near, because we've got one over here too.
It's not. Well, I think because that one it's not SeaWorld, but the one in the documentary Blackfish, it's in Vancouver, because I think that was right off of the coast, wasn't it?
Mm.
I don't know. I haven't seen that since it came out, but yeah.
This one's the one in San Diego is like in the bay, so it's pretty close to the coast.
Mm.
And there's a shark could find its way in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the right people were not paying attention to the right gates and didn't lock the fence, and hot dog on a stick employees didn't catch him because there's a hot dog on a stick right here. And a shark could easily get to see
that's the movie I want to watch. Hot Dog on a Stick versus Jaws. It's just them like trying to fight him in their fucking stupid outfits, throwing corn dogs at him.
Yeah. You know what I found funny in 4 is I started thinking of in the previous episode we did, Josh, you had mentioned, I think it was you that mentioned they were thinking of releasing the first movie around the holidays.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how fucking dumb that is. And then
the fourth one's a Christmas movie.
Well, I thought I'd misheard you, and I was like, what if they were going to do it like it was going to take place during the holidays? Like, what a dumb idea. We're all laughing. The fourth one takes place during the holidays.
The fourth one's technically a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Why are we doing a Jaws movie during Christmas?
And I love that it's like, all right, this one should be during the holidays because it's in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
The most Christmassy place on earth.
Yeah. I also caught that the tagline for part 4 is "This time it's personal," and that totally feels like a tagline for a Rambo sequel.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, like,
I
I really felt that. I was like, wait a minute, is that the tagline for Rambo 3?
Yeah. Well, they make fun of it.
I feel like that's got to be a tagline for like 100 movies.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Hold on.
80s,
Important,
80s in particular.
Important Rambo-based question. If Jaws tied a bandana around its head, where would it tie the bandana?
Around the dorsal fin, dude.
Yeah.
It goes around.
Perfect.
Like
all right, there we go.
Yeah.
I want to see it trying to get its fins back to tie it. God damn it.
He'll get it.
Now I'm mad.
We'll figure it out.
You know, they make fun of that tagline in one of the Back to the Future movies.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And the second one is Jaws 19.
I'm kind of bummed because that's a good point. Like, we're never gonna get a Jaws 19 at this point because of Sharknado and shit. We've completely tapped out all the shark ability to do Jaws, and I don't know without like.
Well, the fourth one just killed it.
The fourth one
Sharknado's fault. It was the fourth.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'd argue that I think that the franchise of Jaws is. I'm not saying that they're not going to try, but I think it's unrebootable. It's reboot proof because so much of the success of the first one is based on the fact that they have no technology to fucking find this shark.
Oh yeah,
it's all barrels and a fucking fish finder, of a fish finder. And as you go through these movies, you see why it worked because every movie there's more tech to follow this fucking shark, and it gets lamer and lamer and lamer. And at this point, like, it wouldn't even be a fucking hunt. Like,
well, it'd just have to take place back then. Right?
If you're just trying to make it a period piece. I feel like at this point, though, there's so many other shark movies.
Right.
Like, they could have just said, Jaws
there's
47
no-
meters down, Jaws in the shallows.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Any-
well, we just make our own original fucking shark movie.
Right.
We want to attach the word Jaws to it to get that
Right.
pull from the IP.
And that's the thing is like all the other ones, like all the Sharknadoes and all these fucking ridiculous shark movies, like they've gone over all, like it's gone so much further than anyone would naturally do sharks that you can't be original with sharks anymore because
No, I think the only two shark movies that I've seen that genuinely filled me in some scenes where I was like, Jesus, like this is kind of fucking creepy or that's fucked up, were Deep Blue Sea and...
You mean Jaws 3 Part 2?
Yes. Deep Blue Sea had some really killer scenes in it, and then the one that you just mentioned, Josh, The Shallows, right? Didn't that have Blake Lively?
Yes, I haven't seen that one yet, but I've heard it's nuts.
It's really good. It was like surprisingly really good. And I went into that one thinking, okay, it's just a shark. Like I've seen this before. These are good. This is going to be dumb. But like, that was genuinely intense. Like they did a really good job.
I really want that to be your reaction. You're in her position and you're just like, yeah, it's just a fucking shark.
Yeah.
Shark. I've seen this before.
Yeah.
That's fine. He just starts swimming and the shark leaves him alone.
Punch in the nose.
So in Back to the Future 2, the movie poster, it says Jaws 19, directed by Max Spielberg. And then the tagline is, this time it's really personal.
I honestly would have loved if they had just kept making these fucking movies, even like just fuck it. Like just leave the Brodies. Just leave the Brodies and I think you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Well, it's what every franchise ends up having to do. Just like you can't
because they never went to space.
No, but this is what I mean. This is the space, right? Like this is like it's just so dumb, and like, so much of it doesn't make any sense. Voodoo that was apparently done and then removed, I mean, it would have made more sense if that stayed in the script.
As stupid as it is, at least would have provided a storytelling avenue.
Just wondering if like can you make a franchise where all the movies are like good, not good for the wrong.
I love it. That's it. That's the end of the thought. Can you make a franchise where all the movies are good? Question mark.
They all fall off the rails so fast. I mean,
I would argue it depends. If you go beyond a trilogy, I think is where you start to get murky. Like I think the Scream franchise is good throughout. I've got my complaints about a couple of the entries, but overall, I think Scream is good. I think the original Evil Dead trilogy is good. I'm not the Army of Darkness maniac that a lot of my friends are, but I appreciate that it's a fun movie.
It's a logical, like, a logical level up from, like, it makes sense. Like, okay, cool, we're following it, and like, this is the next, like, how do you fucking get crazier? Like, but I guess we send them through the portal.
Benefit from Sam Raimi's involvement the whole time. Just like Wes Craven was involved in the first 4 Screams, and then the people who took it over were clearly fans who knew what they were doing.
And Bruce Campbell's involvement as well. Right?
Whereas Jaws was Spielberg for the first movie, and then I don't remember the directors of the other 3 because they didn't go on to do Spielberg shit after this.
The Shark directed the 4th one.
Right.
Completely.
Yeah.
Now,
well, even the second one,
giving himself a role.
I mean, even the second one,
he was hired
at least you still have some elements still there. Like you even have John Williams doing the score still.
The second one really like I said, like it builds off of the other one in so much as like it looks like the first one. It is way more saturated than the first one. It's so much like whenever that first scene comes on when forgot what it was, like boats or whatever, and it was yellow. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. That's too bright. But it looks really good. It's got the same people in it. It's got like all the elements, and then it's just like not the same thing.
No, like you don't care as much, right? The characters, like you fucking love 100%. Those characters in the first movie. And also you get so little of the shark. So it's all about the characters. Like, and then after that, it's all about the shark.
Part 2 is you can tell they just wanted to capitalize off of that, obviously, but they did away with the whole building tension leading to terror. They exchanged that for quick gags. You know, like more gore, and then having the shark itself be more aggressive. It's like, which I guess I can kind of understand, because like it's this all goes back into why did you even make a sequel to this movie? It's a movie that you don't make a sequel to, because what's the point of going into Jaws 2 and trying to use the same tension buildups that Jaws 1 has? Because we all know,
and the thing is like they're trying to use the same stuff, but part of it is also you can't just follow fucking Roy Scheider again, because like we already did that. So you have to introduce all these kid characters, which I actually really like the kids, and I think that they're really good, like 70s kids. And like it's like, and I think it's more of a teenager gang movie than a kid gang movie, but like but in order to have, because there's like 10 fucking kids, 10
everybody in that goddamn town has a fucking boat. Everybody has a boat.
Which, you know what? In this case, it makes sense. It's Anthony. I get that, but you have to take all that time to introduce these fucking characters, all these different kids, and then set up that they're going to go out and shit. And that's all time that in the original movie was set to like building all that tension and shit. So then it's more of just like, it's an action adventure on the high seas type thing. And it's like,
now, I hadn't seen this since I was a kid, and I picked the kind of like what you were saying earlier, Derek, where like you watched this and you were like, a lot of things started slowly coming back to you. I forgot how many times I watched part 2 as a kid, because I had not a phobia, but like I developed a fear of those boats that those teenagers had, because
because I developed an obsession with them,
because like watching them, I'm like, why would you, like, those don't look safe at all. Like there's no wall. Like if Jaws can just, you know, it could just jump right on there.
It can just go up through the middle.
It's just a net, dude. Like the Jaws can.
It's like a serving platter for the
kids exactly.
It's a hot dish.
I just remember feeling like nobody's safe. Like you could be in a helicopter and you're fucked.
Clearly. Which, I mean, like they successfully turned Jaws into a slasher with that. And poor Brody is just a fucking mess in that movie. Like, not only is he dealing with trauma, but he's horrifically directionally challenged. He doesn't know how to handle electronics. He doesn't know how to.
You're gonna have to go. Just point.
So, fuck you. I know I just took a job as a sheriff on a town that's right on the fucking ocean.
Not even just. He's been there for a couple years at this point.
A couple years. I don't know how to work a radio. I don't know how to work a boat. Just point. Like, but it's. I understand why they made the choices that they did for that movie, but it's also like probably shouldn't have just made a sequel to Jaws.
I feel like if we eliminate the original 2, 3, and 4, if the original Jaws didn't exist, but 2, 3, and 4 were made as like 1, 2, and 3, it would be a classic trilogy in the same vein of like Alligator or like those, just a creature feature from the 80s, these big foam monsters and these great kills and all this blood and gore. But because the first one exists and it's such a masterpiece of filmmaking and character development and writing and tension, and it's just so beautifully made that everything else after it, you're like, how the fuck are these even related? Like, did you seriously think you could do that again?
It's two things are happening at the same time, right? Like as you watch the first one, you're like, amazing. And then you watch the second one, and not only does it absolutely showcase how incredible of a director and filmmaker and just the whole team was on the original one, and like Spielberg is a god, and then but it's also like Spielberg is a god, so you could never live up to it ever, and then it just keeps getting further away from it.
I would
say
say
they didn't know Spielberg was a god back then.
Yeah.
He was some kid in his 20s, and they're like, I just got lucky. We can do a sequel. And then they did it, and they're like, wait, maybe this kid's fucking got something. Because
But I like
we
that
clearly
I like
don't.
that they most likely were like, well, that didn't go as we expected. Fuck it, let's do another one.
Yeah. This time it's SeaWorld.
Yeah, we'll try it again. It'll be better this time.
Yeah. We'll get SeaWorld to pay for it.
We're going to build a shark and make SeaWorld pay for it.
Yeah.
That's what happens in these. I mean, you go to New York, you go to space, you go to Vegas, you go to SeaWorld. Yeah. It's just,
oh my God, Jaws in New York. Amazing.
That'd be sick. The Hudson River.
It does make sense. As we started the sequel, I was like, oh, wait, they got Roy back for this one? Like, that's crazy. I guess it's better than I remember or better than I imagined. And then you're like, oh, no, he had to be contractually obligated to do it. I wanted no part of it. I'm like, oh, okay, that tracks.
Yeah. He's like, fuck this shit. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
As soon as the shark penetrated the boat and that woman poured all the gasoline on herself, that I was like,
oh my God,
this is not the same
a Night
movie.
of the Living Dead move. Oh, I loved it. God, it's so good.
This is not the same movie.
Dude, that scene, I mean, it starts, it's got a build up, but the like chain of events that happens is so fast and so over the top and so ridiculous that it's like, okay, he's attacking a boat, everything's on fire.
Right.
Within 2 seconds.
Like
including the shark.
Which is great. I love
So
burnt as fuck styrofoam Jaws. So fucking good. But,
I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, dude. That's why he's so much angrier.
Yeah, thanks, lady.
Fucking okay. His half of his face is burnt and he's in salt water.
Yeah. It's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
It's gotta hurt. I'd eat a helicopter too.
But I can go with. I'm trying so hard to. She like picks up the gas.
Yeah.
Why is that her first move? Is to even pick up the gas?
Well,
like,
okay,
it's
let's
always
go through this.
It's always Justin's solution in these movies. It's just
yes. and it would have worked had you set the shark. No, had that too. But had you not set the shark on fire in water, well, you got to set the shark on fire on land, so that way you can't put it out.
Yeah, but if the shark's on land, you don't need to set it on fire.
No, you do it for good measure.
Okay, that's fair.
He just tried to eat you. Yeah, he just tried to eat you. I mean,
but I love that. Like, she grabs gas. So why does she even have gas? Is that a thing that you do on a boat? You bring
you need gas. You need to fill your motor.
If you're not going that far off of the shore,
it's good.
Well, I mean, you never know. You know, I don't know if you need 3 fucking gas. Like,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a fucking.
I don't know.
Thing of it.
I don't know if you need enough spare gasoline on a small boat to be equivalent to explode your boat.
No,
right.
Yeah.
That's a lot of gas.
That was like just in case we decide to visit the neighboring continent amount of gas. Like that was
this is an amount of gas if I want to commit a war crime. You know, not
like
just
she was planning to blow something up.
Not like, oh shit, I'm riding out, we're going skiing and I accidentally ran out of gas.
Yeah.
So I love that she picks up this fucking gas can and starts pouring it on the shark, which is already like whatever. And then she trips, lifts it up and pours it over herself, and then makes the genius decision
to shoot
a fucking flare into the boat.
Yeah, like at her feet, essentially.
At her feet.
Yeah.
It was giving me tired of this issue that nobody actually has, like infomercial vibes. Like,
oh my God, like the whole thing is in black and white.
Sick of spilling gas all over yourself when you're out boating with sharks?
Have you shot a flare at yourself and lit yourself on fire?
Well, like,
we all know the agony.
Okay, well, in her defense, so she's gonna pick up the gas, and I think that, you know, she was supposed to just take the gas can, throw it at the shark, and then light it. But the Jaws is attacking the boat so much that you know, she has to lift it up, and then she realizes her mistake, and then she decides
pretty quick because it's gasoline pouring on his head
right on her face. like literally in her eyes. And then I guess she decides to double down on that, and that's when she lights it on fire.
Oh, maybe the gas got in her eyes. She thought she picked up a regular gun. She actually picked up a flare gun.
Maybe.
Maybe. Or she was just like, I'm not getting eaten by a fucking shark. That sounds like a nightmare. I will just light myself on fire.
Which will probably be way more enjoyable.
Which won't kill me because I'm going to go into the ocean and it'll put the flames out. And now I got to drown. It's like some fucking
now I got to drown.
Deaths
I've got the worst burns possible.
And now the shark is like, oh, and you're freshly toasted. You taste even better.
Yeah, welcome to my world, bitch. Yeah, dude. Poor lady.
I do love that Derek shared the Jaws ride. I'm so mad I never got to ride Jaws.
You never got
Universal Orlando.
Dude, it was amazing.
Oh my god,
we have it here on the studio tour, and so whenever we would post about it on the Universal Hollywood social, there would always be comments that are like, "Why are you posting about this ride that you took away?" And I'm like, "We still fucking got it in California. Like, I'm sorry that Florida got rid of it, but don't be mad at me."
Wait,
but I've watched the YouTube version of it so many times, and I'm so mad that I never got to ride the Orlando one.
What's the difference? Like, it's part of a bigger thing.
So in Hollywood, we have a full backlot tour. So you're on this like 4-car tram that takes you through all these sets.
I think, or no, maybe that was MGM that had that.
I think it was MGM.
Yeah. And so this one takes you through. You go through Courthouse Square, so you get to see the clock tower from Back to the Future. It takes you through New York Street, so you see all the brownstones from like Bruce Almighty and shit like that. But then it'll take you through different animations. And so there's one section where you pull into what looks like a train station, and then it starts to shake, and it's Earthquake. And that's actually the one from the movies.
We had, I don't think we still have it, right?
No, you replaced it with Fast and Furious.
Yeah, because it was, oh God. I haven't even been on that one. Earthquake was so fucking cool.
You guys had Confrontation, which is similar to the King Kong thing that we had here, but that one burned down. You guys have Fast and Furious now, which is also part of our studio tour. And then Jaws. So the tram, after it goes through like Little Europe or whatever, will take you through Amity Island. And so you see the billboard on the side, and then it'll pull up on the dock, and you see a guy in the water with the boat. And the guy in the water is just like, oh, I'm just like doing normal cop stuff in the water. And they're like, hey, get out of there, Bill. And then you see a fin pop up, and then he goes underwater, and then red stuff pops out. But then the shark jumps out of the water and just like coughs on the tram as it's like bouncing along the side, and you get water sprayed on you, and it's all very cool. It's incredible. It's like my favorite part of the studio tour. It's so cool. But yeah, the Orlando one is a very fucking scary.
Oh yeah, it's an actual ride. It was a ride.
Yeah, like I wrote it as a kid. I wrote it so many times. My mom was like,
"Dude, it not ride the fucking down so many times. You could never fucking every time I go, it wasn't. You couldn't get on it."
Did you ride it before they switched it to the electrocution shark?
So I don't think I don't have a memory of it, but I know they changed that because it kept breaking. Because they had to change a lot of it. Yeah.
What was it before?
What I read was that it was based on the original Jaws, and the shark would blow up at the end of the ride, and it would shoot chunks of like foam rubber and blood and guts into the air.
Whoa.
Like the shark exploded. And then all of that stuff would sink to the bottom of the lake and gather up into a little like cannon and get tucked back away and then get shot back up again. But the mechanism that was supposed to gather all the blood and guts and reload the cannon always failed, always got jammed. And eventually they were like, we can't keep blowing this fucking shark up 20 times a day because this ride's not going to last. So they switched it, and now it's clearly based on the sequel where he eats the power cable,
which honestly is I love that ending. It's so fucking stupid and funny
for the ride, and him popping out of the water as many times. Like, that would scare the shit out of me if I rode that ride as a kid.
So it says that they changed it in 93. I don't know.
It's only 3 years because they opened it in 90.
Yeah, shit, that's right. Yeah. So, I don't think I ever saw the original one.
Yeah, I don't think I did either.
Barely ever ran.
Yeah, because I remember the first time I rode it was in 90. I was in 6th grade, 6th or 7th grade. So it was like 94, 95.
Mm-hmm.
So I know. It was
I was definitely there in the early 90s and didn't get to ride it.
Yeah,
I think on multiple occasions, like we'd go and it's just like fucking, you just see like a lake there shut down. It's like, all right. We'll just go do King Kong again.
I remember a few years ago, I watched a whole YouTube video documentary on like or maybe it was an article, but it was about like the genesis of the ride. And
it was a YouTube thing. I remember you sending it to me.
Absolutely mind blowing how much fucking like innovation they had to do. Like it's still stuff that they haven't really figured out. That's why it was always fucking broken.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I remember either the last time or right before the last time I rode it, I think it was at a Halloween Horror Nights. I think that because I remember riding it once at night, and it was fucking
I don't remember that.
Awesome, because it's always during the day, but there's fire and stuff, so it's kind of like, right, it's fire, but at night,
I'm sure that's awesome.
Holy fucking shit, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's cool.
Man, the Back to the Future ride was so dope.
E.T.
And
E.T. was sick.
E.T. was awesome. King Kong was dope.
King Kong was awesome.
Yeah.
King Kong
that was
so
such
good.
a bummer. So King Kong burned down here in 2008. I want to say there was a big backlot fire, destroyed a bunch of shit. I'm not sure actually.
Pissed.
Yeah, but
there's a bunch of fire in there's pyrotechnics throughout that whole ride. I remember as a kid being scared of all the fucking fire.
It was the big animatronic Kong, and it was like a warehouse, like a lot of props and like old history was lost in the fire too. So they replaced it with the King Kong 360 3D, which you guys got a more elaborate version, the Skull Island Reign of Kong ride, because just the center section where he's fighting the dinosaurs around the train, that's what we have on the studio tour. But then you still have a giant animatronic Kong at the very end, which is
cool.
It's at Adventure Island.
Adventure Island?
Islands of Adventure.
Islands of Adventure.
Adventure Island is a different thing.
Okay. I haven't been to Adventure. I haven't been to Islands of Adventure in ages because
I don't think we've been since they put it in.
Yeah, no. Last time we went was
for Halloween Horror Nights.
Last time we went was 2010 because I was working at Best Buy, and you, me, and Keith went in May. Because I remember getting off work and going. But then every time that we would go up there every year, it was for Halloween Horror Nights, which is at Universal.
Yeah.
So I haven't been to Islands of Adventure in ages.
Yeah, the Kong ride is dope, and it's just an expanded version of what we have on the the tour. And
same thing with the Mummy ride. The Mummy ride is better in Orlando.
Mummy ride in Orlando is one of my favorite rides.
It's so good.
All of theme parks. I ride that like 6 times anytime I come to Orlando.
I think that they're actually talking about changing it out for something.
I will fucking end worlds if anything changes. I wrote the official blog about that ride on universalorlando.com.
Nice.
If you want to go check it out. Yeah, it's got my face on and everything. Because they were like, you love this ride more than anyone else we know. You should be the one to write this article. And I was like, you're goddamn right I should. If they ever change that out, I will be miserable.
I remember moving from Florida to LA, from fucking Orlando to North Hollywood, essentially, like being from one Universal to the next. And I'm like, oh shit, I love this ride. Got on it. And I was like, oh, that was so fucked up. Like I was so upset.
It's such a weird, abrupt ending. I remember when I was riding it, one of the other employees next to me was like, you ever ridden the Florida one? It's so much better. Like the ceiling catches fire and shit. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, they pretend like it's super meta. Like they act like you're on a set. Brendan Fraser's there. The ceiling catches fire. And I'm like, there's no way it's that fucking cool. And then we went and I was like,
wait, so all that stuff isn't in there?
No.
That's
dude,
dumb as fuck. That's
you
the best
understand part. Universal in LA, it's so condensed,
it's way smaller.
Right?
Yeah,
it's
way
so
smaller. And they tried to do like a legit
space.
The Mummy curse, like make it a scary ride.
Yeah.
Whereas Orlando was like, no, it's about a movie. Let's be meta and be funny about it. And I was like, that's what we should have been doing at the actual movie studio in Hollywood. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
But we do still have Jaws representation, and you guys just have the photo op now, which is so disappointing.
A lot of the other, and also the big hammerhead, or not the hammerhead, the tiger shark that was hanging in front of the ride in Orlando is now in San Francisco at Fisherman's Wharf. It's just outside chilling in San Francisco.
So wait, we don't even have the photo op anymore?
Oh,
no, it's in San Francisco, you do.
Well, right, but damn,
I thought you guys still had a shark hanging up that you could take pictures in front of.
Maybe not. Well, that whole section,
not the original.
That whole section got converted to Hogwarts.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Well, it's not Hogwarts. It's the train area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And I
There
think
is-
was it
Fuck,
E.T.
there
or
isn't
Back
any
to the Future?
Amityville left.
Back to the Future is Simpsons.
Amityville.
Yeah.
Yeah, Back
Yeah,
to the
Back
Future.
to the Future is Simpsons.
What's Men in Black? That took one of the.
I can't remember.
Think
Men in Black's still
That's-
there. I don't know what it was
Yeah.
before. though.
Yeah. I don't. I don't
It
Oh,
might have
was it the
been
alien?
E.T.?
No, that was Disney.
It was
I think.
E.T.
Yeah.
I think it was E.T.
no, it
No,
wasn't.
you
No,
guys still
E.T.'s
have
still
it.
there.
E.T.'s still there. Yeah.
E.T. still in Orlando?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Is it
just
really?
it's
Dude, you
it's
just
not
got so
open.
stoked.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna go to Orlando.
every
Because E.T. is what they turned into the Mummy here in Hollywood. And so, because Universal Studios was my favorite theme park as a kid. Like every time I come to visit my dad, we would go to Universal Studios. It was the best time ever. And then I didn't go for
You go
years.
to the Florida one or the LA one?
No, here in California. So my parents split up when I was young, but my dad still lived in Southern California. And so I would come to visit him and he would always take me to Universal and we'd always have the best time. And then I didn't go for years. Kimmy and I started dating. We moved to Vegas and I was like, Universal Studios Hollywood was like my favorite theme park as a kid. We have to go next time we're in California. And she was like, oh, you haven't been in how long? And I was like, oh, it's been like since 90 something. And she was like, I don't know if you're going to recognize this fucking park. And so we go there and I was like, where's E.T.? And she's like, it's the Mummy now. And I was like, where's Back to the Future? And she's like, it's the Simpsons now. And I'm like, what the fuck did they do to my park? Like, I love the Simpsons, but Back to the Future was such a
I
game
love
changer.
the Simpsons area more than I love the ride.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what's funny, and people still don't believe me, but I'm almost 100% sure that the Simpsons ride is the exact same ride as Back to the Future.
Yeah.
100%. They just reskinned
the
it.
motions. They just changed the visuals on the screen.
They just changed the visuals.
Which is why I'm like, you could make it a Back to the Future ride again for a day.
Yeah.
And you have any idea what people would pay or like line up to fucking experience that ride
As a
again?
kid,
Just break out the Blu-ray.
Make
it happen.
Right.
As a kid, walking in. What was that, dude?
I hit a button.
Whoa!
I was listening to the John Williams Jaws soundtrack right before we started recording. I accidentally hit the play button. I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck Jaws. Now we're reminiscing about theme parks.
Yeah, I know, right?
But dude, I remember as a kid, as like a 6-7-year-old kid, walking into that room and seeing the DeLorean and getting jump into it,
dude.
And
it was
ride
the
that ride.
Coolest thing ever. And I'll be honest, it's a bet. Like, I know that it's still the same ride, but it just works better as Back to the Future.
Yes,
because it doesn't make sense as a roller coaster because it feels more like you're flying.
Yeah,
that and fucking ditching Ghostbusters for Twister, and then ditching Twister for fucking
what is it now?
It was so
they got rid of Twister.
Yeah, it's now the Jimmy Fallon thing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
really?
Actually, now it might be Fast and the Furious.
No, I think Jimmy Fallon is still the ride through New York. Fast and Furious replaced your Earthquake because
Twister was so dope.
Twister was okay, but it wasn't. So it was again. It was just a reskin. So
Bill Paxton.
I gotta break it down, bro. It's still the same like setup, obviously, because again, they just reskinned it. They may have. I'm assuming they completely changed it for Jimmy Fallon, but it was the same. Like you walk into this room and then you just watch the shit play out. Except it was the fucking Ghostbusters containment unit room.
I don't ever remember.
So you would go into the big room and sit down, and you it's this whole like it's like a big room that looked like the containment unit room, but it had like a like a plexiglass window,
right.
And then it's this was when I was a fucking kid, so forgive me if I forget most of it. But like something happens where one of them goes in and like puts a ghost in the containment unit, and it overloads, and then it just starts shooting ghosts out, and it's fucking
I remember this.
Fucking incredible.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen this on YouTube. Yeah,
I hope so. I'm gonna have to actually go look for it because
it sounds familiar.
So fucking cool, especially as a kid. Like I was like, I'm in Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Well, then also outside in the park when they were always driving around, the Ghostbusters was always so fucking cool.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm glad that we have these memories as kids because today sucks. Yeah, it really
Replacing all of
puts-
our earthquakes with Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. Like, no, it really.
Well, they're not
puts in
trying to appeal to
perspective.
dudes in their fucking 40s, you know, like
No.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like, today sucks.
What is
You
funny
know?
though is Universal's got another Fast and Furious ride coming that they
Jesus.
announced, and it's because I don't work there anymore, so I can fucking spill all the tea. The original Fast and Furious experience was on the studio tour, and it was fucking dancing cars. You would go, the tram would go into this garage area and pull around, and there was like a Honda Civic and like a Volkswagen Golf that were all souped up with the ridiculous decals and the neon lights and all that other shit. And they would show like, oh yeah, this is like special effects. So like if we wanted to look like the car's about to do a barrel roll, we just have it do that, and it would like go up on an actuator. And they're like, or if we make the car want to look like it's doing a wheelie, we just have it do that. Woo. And they're like, and then sometimes we have a little bit of fun. And then Daddy Yankee's Gasolina would blare through the speakers, and both cars would lift up off the road and fucking do like a choreographed spin thing.
That's amazing.
You got to look it up on YouTube. It is insane. And apparently, this is all rumors, but apparently they took the producers of the franchise on the studio tour, and they went through that section, and they're like, this is your Fast and Furious representation. One of the best performing franchises in the history of the studio. And this is what you have for it in your park.
Wait, so it's just two stationary cars on like hydraulics,
on giant, like
essentially?
mechanical arms. Yeah.
Dude,
When you said
I
dancing
love-
cars, I thought it was going to be some fucking like
Like a
hoonigan
movie?
shit where they're fucking like, where they're like drifting in sync and shit. That'd be, even if they're on track, that'd be
No,
cool.
they're
But
just
like,
cars on sticks, like being.
Dude,
that's
I
way
love
out in
that.
front of you.
Fucking
I love
stupid.
that. I love
Yeah.
it like I love it like I love Jaws the Revenge.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Yeah, 100%.
It was so
it's
silly,
very-
but you always look forward to it because you're like, this part's fucking ridiculous. Wait till you see what they're doing. Yeah, apparently the producers were like, you can't have that represent Fast and Furious. Like, we're very
That's
serious about these
amazing.
movies. So they killed that, did the new Fast and Furious attraction, which I don't know if you've checked the comments anywhere, is not popular either. So now
what
we're
is
stupid.
it?
It's just like, it's pretty much the Spider-Man ride, but without any of the cool shit, I think.
The Spider-Man ride was dope.
Yeah,
No,
Spider-Man
right, I know.
ride,
I know, but
Spider-Man
I'm
ride
saying
and the
like,
Transformers ride are exactly the same.
Yeah,
Right.
Transformers is
but
so
if you
good.
take, from what I understand from the, I think I watched a video of it and then I read a review, and it was like, if you took the Spider-Man's or the Transformers ride and just took all the fucking like artifice off of it, like there was no, like if you took all the Spider-Man, you took all the shit off of it, it was just like you're on a road and then it's projected on the wall.
Yeah, no, it's the if you've ridden the King Kong ride, there's the huge section where you're just in a tunnel and it's all 360 video and you're on the tram, and that's what it is here. And so they just converted that so you all board a bus, and it's like the party bus, and they're taking you. Yeah, this is for Fast and the Furious. Like, you're boarding the party bus, and we're taking you to their garage where you can hide out from the syndicate who's sending fucking one of the stations to come kill you or whatever. And then you blast through this wall, and then it's just all 360 screens. So you're on a big party bus, just like bouncing around while everything happens around you on screens. Vin Diesel jumps out of a Camaro, takes down a helicopter, and then jumps back into his Camaro while they're all driving. Yeah, I mean, he can do that.
Is there a gift shop? Is there a gift shop at the end of this ride that you have to walk through, like a bunch of Fast?
Absolutely, with like button-up shirts with the diamond plate on them and like the flaming hats, and absolutely.
Like
do you
fake,
guys remember
like triceps that you could put on your arm? Oh, was that me?
Not to be used to touch an actual helicopter.
The crazy thing in the gift shop is you can actually buy your own family.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
Do you guys remember the Days of Thunder ride?
No.
What? No, that was at Universal. I think it was either at
Days of
Universal. The Tom Cruise movie, or was that at where was that?
That might have been a Six Flags or something. I don't remember.
Days of Thunder ride.
Busch
Where
Gardens?
was that? Days of Thunder.
Busch Gardens.
Busch Gardens. No.
That's Days of Lightning.
No. Maybe it was at.
I will say what I loved about Orlando was just the fact that there was Islands of Adventure was fucking awesome. I loved that park. The dueling dragons and the Incredible Hulk, those roller coasters.
Incredible Hulk is so good.
It was awesome. I had an annual pass, and it was a 10-minute drive. And I just remember fucking like 3 times a week, and just me and a couple buddies like gotta go, and it'd be completely empty. Just stay on the Incredible Hulk for like fucking 30 minutes.
Hell yeah.
It got to the point where like, hey, you know what would be funny, since this is like the 200th time we're riding this? What if we just stare at each other the whole ride? To try to like make it different.
I want to go back to Fast and Furious real quick and just pitch a better ride, because I can't get it out of my head now. What if like still the same like Spider-Man type thing, but you actually put like budget into it and effort, and you just base it off of, was it 5? Was 5 the bank one? The one with the vault?
I think so.
Yeah.
I didn't make
if
it that far.
you base it off of 5, so the whole time, like the vault keeps like whipping back around and coming through shit at you.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. The new attraction that they're opening is
ride.
a roller coaster, which is crazy. This is why it makes me sad, because they had to. By the way, I think it was Kings Island where the Days of Thunder ride is.
No, because I've never been to Kings Island.
Oh.
Yeah, me and my
Kings
mom.
Island, Kings Dominion, Carowinds.
Maybe that's where it is. It was in Carowinds. That's right.
Okay.
Well, what I was going to say was Charlotte. Because what I was going to say is the Days of Thunder ride was like a big kind of like movie theater that you go in, and your seats are like they move and stuff. No. And it was basically like an IMAX screen that like wrapped around. And it was
the Jimmy Fallon experience. Essentially, is like the entire audience moves with it. Yeah.
So like the Days of Thunder one was fucking epic. So it's like you would think that they would do something on that level for Fast and the Furious.
Well, it's going to be a roller coaster that apparently goes from the upper lot. I don't know if you're familiar with Hollywood, but it's on a hill. And so when you walk into the park, you've got the first section, and then you have to take 4 escalators all the way down to the lower lot, which is where Jurassic World, The Mummy, and Transformers are. And I guess the plan is to have the roller coaster section like on the upper lot, but the actual track travels down the hill and like goes into the lower lot and then comes back up. And I get the appeal. I feel like they're just trying to be Six Flags, and they've always thought of like Disney as their competitor. And I'm like, you guys are a movie studio. You don't have to be an amusement park, especially with how little space you have, because they got rid of the animal actors stage and the special effects stage to make room for this roller coaster. And I'm like, those 2 behind the scenes shows were so fucking cool.
Good, man.
And so nice for like tired fucking people who want to sit down in air conditioning and relax for half an hour and watch birds do cool tricks, or watch someone show you how green screens work. Like those were perfect to pull a bunch of people out of line. And now they're just like, we have to build a roller coaster for Fast and Furious.
See, if they were smart, you guys have seen footage of those roller coasters where like it'll go on a loop or do something and then it'll go straight up and then it'll like pause like that and it'll go backwards.
Oh, yeah.
What they should do for Fast and the Furious is have that, and then as it gets up at the top where it like hangs for a second, before it goes back down, like soon as you get up, all you hear is Paul Walker going, I said, forget about it, cuh, and then goes back down. That's how you make a Fast and the Furious roller coaster.
I want to add in that, yes, I'm all about that, but also anytime like it needs to the cart needs to be 2 cars, right? So like it's two fucking drift cars, and it's on one car. You know what I mean? Like it's moving as one thing, so it looks like you're racing. Yeah. And then anytime, and I'm sure that this doesn't work for safety, but anytime you go into a curve, the cars swing out. So it's like you're drifting around, drift chasing each other. That would be fucking cool.
I think that's the plan for this roller coaster. Is to
and then you put speakers in, like the like that one ride in. Oh yeah, or like the Aerosmith ride, which is dope. And then it's
just playing Gasolina.
And no, just like constantly in your ear the whole time.
There's a moment in the current Fast and Furious ride where you hit a ramp and they lay on the NOS, so they've got multiple cars that have attached steel hooks to the side of your
I
party
haven't heard
bus.
that word in so long.
Yeah. And they all hit the nos, and then you hit a ramp and you're sailing through the air, and it goes quiet for a second, and you just hear Vin Diesel say "ride or die."
Oh no!
And you like, goosebumps every time. Every time.
Yeah. It should start out with him saying, "I live my life a quarter mile at a time."
Yeah.
And that
And then
light
the end of
turns
it is
green.
like-
I'm going for it.
And then at the end, it's like it's all about family.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a monologue at the end. I think he says,
Oh,
"They
okay.
say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. We're happy to have you part of ours," or something.
I fucking love that your Vin Diesel sounds so drunk.
I love Vin Diesel, but every scene in the Fast and Furious ride looks like he is reading a cue card for the very first time, and they're just like, "That'll do. Like, we don't need another take." And there's like Tyrese does the whole intro, and he's also not great at it. He hits on one of the people in the car. I don't know if they took that part out. But he's all like, that little Missy in the third row, I'm gonna need to get your number later. And I'm like, Tyrese, shut the fuck up. I'm like,
What if I give Tyrese if I give it to the ride handler, will he get it?
Right?
Yeah.
probably, yeah. I think that was
cool.
in the contract. He would only
Okay,
appear
cool.
in the ride if he
The
got
ride's
10 to
empty.
15
It's
phone
just,
numbers a day. Yeah.
the ride's empty. It's just James sitting in there, and Tyrese is like,
Can I get a third row? Can I get a third row? I
I
want the
know
third
you're talking to me.
yeah.
He needs me.
I keep riding the ride, but he doesn't say anything new. I thought you loved me, Tyrese.
Shout out to anyone still watching this. Like, when are they going to talk about the Jaws movies?
Fucking 30 minutes.
Last
Fucking
30
theme
minutes
park.
is done,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
It's done.
All right.
So you guys
We
wanna
talked
talk
about
Jaws
E.T.
2 a little bit more.
and Back in the Future. It's all very Amblin adjacent. Like, we're
It's
good.
all
Yeah, it
Spielberg.
makes sense.
It's all
Makes
Spielberg.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I think it was a good way to
Fast
close
and
it
Furious, Spielberg.
Yeah. Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Jaws. Yeah, it was
Spielberg.
good.
It is actually about family.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Family of sharks.
Yeah.
Hunting down
Ooh,
a family
that's
of
how we
Brodies.
bring it
Down
back
an
in.
entire
Yeah.
family. There we
Yeah.
go.
Hunting down
Yeah.
a family of Brodies.
Yeah. Family versus family. It's
Yeah.
Family Feud, but with sharks.
The shark itself was fast and
It
remarkably
was
furious.
furious in
Furious.
multiple movies.
Yeah.
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 It was pretty slow in Jaws 3.
But I will say, yes, and I'm glad that you bring this up because
that last scene,
even
is,
though-
like, so fucking
however,
slow.
the one where it's like super in the dark, that scared the fuck out of me. Like there's
Wait,
a
which
vibe
one?
about it. In 3,
And it's going like through the
it's like
sunken halls or whatever.
maybe no, I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh,
I just
whenever
know
he was.
it's a really dark and murky shot, and it's just kind of sitting.
Oh,
there.
I know what
Yeah.
you're
And
talking
like
about.
for
Yeah.
some reason, it was like, and you know what I think it was? I think it's because that was the moment that my brain was like, "You're about to go through trauma again," because it's right before.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And my body was like,
Yeah.
"No,
Yeah.
no."
Well, it's also like you see that shot, and could you imagine being underwater,
Right,
looking over
exactly.
and seeing that?
Like, and it's just there. It's not even
Yeah.
like coming at you yet.
Ugh.
You're just like,
Yeah, dude.
that fucking
Yeah.
reaction.
Nah, dude.
It's
That's
fucking
bro.
terrifying.
No. The
And
did
you killed its baby.
Yeah, so it's super pissed.
Super
Did you
pissed.
guys catch I'm sure you caught it. They showed it like 5-10 fucking times and hovered on it for a good, I don't know, 4 minutes of screen time, where the shark had to break in Jaws 3D. The Jaws had to break through the gate that was closed,
Yeah.
and he broke through it by just taking its tail and
Yeah.
rubbing the fucking grate.
Yeah.
Like this motion does not equate to this motion and
Well,
bashing
I
a
mean-
gate
Yeah.
through.
Look, no, I mean,
I
it
don't
makes
know
sense
how
when you
that
think about it. Have you ever felt shark skin?
I'm
Like how it's like rough if you
Rough.
rub it the wrong way?
Rough. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. So he was the mom was using using its tail as a saw.
yeah, but it pushed it out. Like it
Using
pushed the
its
gate
tail-
out.
Justin, it was
It didn't
using
cut
its
through.
Justin, it
It
was
didn't-
using its tail as a saw, Justin.
It didn't. The shark saw didn't cut through steel.
It was using it as a saw, Justin.
It pressed open, dude. I don't
That's
know
how
if
saws
that.
work. That's
Yeah.
how saws work now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a shark saw, okay?
Yeah.
yeah. I
It works
don't.
differently to human saws, obviously.
Yeah.
in that it wedges instead of cuts.
That final scene is great when the glass shatters, because it really is like it's the Austin Powers scene of the fucking
Yes.
They just coming at you so fucking slow. It's just
Yeah.
like, and it doesn't charge the glass. It's just like casually like swimming very slowly.
Because they
rubs its nose in the glass.
Yeah.
It's very much. I got no brakes.
Yeah.
I can't steer this Jaws.
My shark brakes have gone out.
Yeah.
Somebody cut the line on my shark brakes.
I can't swim backwards. Fuck.
One thing, one of my
sharks can't swim backwards, right? That's a thing.
It does in Jaws 3D because
that's right. I don't think it is a thing.
An actual shark.
Again, it's,
no, in real life they're not supposed to, because I remember that vividly from Deep Blue Sea.
They can,
like,
but they're not supposed to.
So okay, going back to the scene in question, like it's rubbing the grate. Somehow that pushes the grate open, and then it just swims backwards out the tunnel.
Maybe the gate was just into it.
Maybe, but
maybe.
I don't know. I'm not buying it.
This is not your average shark. This whole family of sharks is clearly
not your average shark.
I think there's some voodoo involved, obviously.
But,
yeah, because even in the first one, the shark was not supposed to take 3 barrels down.
No,
that's physically impossible.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and also isn't it supposed to be, as far as like the canon of the franchise, the first one is actually also a baby technically?
No, they never said anything about that.
I don't remember that.
That's Piranha.
If the third one has the mom.
Oh, it's not the same shark.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the same shark family.
No,
it's not.
Really?
Well, that's the fucking headcanon I'm going with.
These people just have horrible luck with sharks.
Nah, bro. It's all one family and they're holding a fucking grudge.
No.
Shark grudge.
Could you, the pitch for Jaws the Revenge was... Because in the first film, in the second film, Brody mentions that, he says, how dolphins can communicate. Maybe sharks can communicate that way too.
Yeah.
And the lady's like, sharks don't hold grudges. And then, fast forward 11 years later, somebody at Universal was like, this one scene, what if they do?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. What if she's just a liar?
Yeah,
she's working with sharks.
It's funny because I wrote the quote because
I thought you were about to say I wrote the movie.
Yeah, I wrote this movie, guys. I was 3 years old.
Yeah. That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, it's pretty good now, all things considered. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm more impressed now. I think it's way better.
Yeah. But I think they took the tagline straight from that quote. It's because it's in the second movie.
Yeah.
Where Brody's saying, you don't think that the shark was destroyed, that another shark could. And then she interrupts him. And she says, sharks don't take things personally, Mr. Brody. And the tagline of the fourth is, this time it's personal.
This time it is
directly
personal.
from that fucking quote.
Yeah. This time it's finally personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, that doesn't make any fucking sense, John. How does that happen? And then they were like, well, let's make up a voodoo curse instead to explain it. And then they filmed it and they were like, no, this is stupid.
Yeah. They're like, this time it's voodoo is such a worse tagline.
Let's make it a grudge. But she said, shut up.
Yeah. Get out of here. You're fired.
Yeah. One of my last notes here that I'd like to mention is I loved when the second one you see the opening credits and it said score by or composer John Williams. And I was like, oh shit, that's fucking awesome. He did this one too. And then opening credits in the third one, it says Jaws theme by John Williams. So I was like, they had it, at least we got John Williams in the opening credits here.
Right.
Yeah, he's not the fourth one. Obviously, same thing.
Speaking of that, in 3, it says suggested by the novel by Peter Benchley.
Yeah, suggested.
I've never seen that in a movie before, and I was like, you guys were like, this is too much of a stretch, isn't it?
Right.
Question before we wrap this up. Very important. in Jaws 3, the two dudes who were dressed all in black with the raft that go out there and they get attacked or whatever. What the fuck were they doing?
They were collecting. They were stealing coral to sell
in a theme park lagoon.
In a SeaWorld lagoon, where I'm assuming that SeaWorld installed coral.
It's different.
Not just any theme park, Justin.
Yeah, SeaWorld's got coral, bro.
Coral.
It's coral. No. Coral.
I do love how many, just in that brief moment, they're like, we need to let you know that these guys are in an ocean life area. So here's a crab, here's a turtle, here's this, here's that.
All
I was like,
the same
that's a lot of
shot.
creatures all just hanging out in the same square foot. Like, that's what they
do. Before we end,
so hold on. They're out there they bust into a theme park to steal coral.
Yeah.
How much does coral go for on the black market?
That's fucking why. Don't ask me.
Yeah, we'll never know.
So that's what their game plan
That's what
was?
they said.
But
yeah, they said something about I've got a guy who will buy coral.
Why break into the theme park to do it? Why go in the ocean?
I think because it's it's just like the park hasn't fully opened yet, so it can do coral.
It's the fact that it's from the park that makes it more valuable.
Right,
It's like when you could buy a Funko Pop of your favorite character, but when it's a convention exclusive and it was there, that's what it.
That's
so
what
this is
convention exclusive coral.
Yeah,
right.
This is SeaWorld exclusive coral.
I can't stop hearing coral every time you say coral.
Holy fuck! Oh my god! Fuck this movie.
I kind of. This is
so dumb.
I love it. It's my favorite.
Because of 3 being at SeaWorld and because Shamu is in it, I looked up Shamu attacks or killer whale attacks.
Yeah.
Do we want to hear some of these fucked attacks?
Really? I thought they never attack humans.
They attack trainers.
Yeah, that's different.
Because I was
cuddler whales.
Because I was going to say that it's possible. I was going to say that it's possible that this Shamu in the movie, which is not Shamu, the original Shamu, there was only one Shamu, was somebody that had hurt someone, but it's not because all those were in San Diego and this was the Orlando whale. There's 10 total attacks. I'm just going to read the crazier ones. In April 71, a 17-foot female orca, the original Shamu, bit and grasped the leg of 22-year-old Annette Eckes, requiring her to be rescued by trainers and taken to the hospital for stitches. It's the OG Shamu, so I figured I'd include that one.
Yeah.
They get crazier from here. On March 4th, 1987, 20-year-old SeaWorld San Diego trainer Jonathan Smith was grabbed by one of the park's 6-ton killer whales. The orca dragged the trainer to the very bottom of the tank, hurting him, then carried him bleeding all the way back to the surface, and then spat him out. Smith waved to the crowd when a second orca slammed on top of him. He continued to pretend he was unhurt as the whales repeatedly dragged him to the bottom of the stadium pool. Smith was cut all around his torso, had a ruptured kidney, and a 6-inch laceration of his liver. Yet he managed to escape the pool with his life. Later reports indicated that the whales involved in the attack were 10-year-old female Keanu Reeves, Kinau, and the 9-year-old female Candu V, which that sounds like some Scientology shit, who had previously attacked the trainer Joanne Hay in 1984.
Is Keanu Reeves as a killer whale?
Yeah, now I'm just picturing him doing the voice in the film adaptation of this. So, beyond the fact that he was just like all part of the show the whole time.
I was like,
throwing
bro,
his
that's
bleeding, shredded body onto the table. Like, don't let the guests get scared. He was 20. What do you have to go through to become a killer whale trainer?
Fucking not enough, according to all these guys.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. Like at some point, I'm gonna be like, guys, I'm dying.
Well, I think it's like like you hurt yourself in front of people, you try to play it off.
Yeah.
You're too embarrassed.
You gave me a little bit. I'm good. I'm good.
It's fine.
All the kids in the front row are
touched
just
it.
laughing at him.
Yeah.
Look at this
Is
dork.
that his liver? Yeah.
Screaming.
All part of the
It
show.
fucked his liver up. How?
Yeah.
So at some point, these start to have a pattern. In November 1987, Orky, too, was involved in an accident that injured trainer John Sillick during a show for the public. Sillick was riding on the back of a female orca when Orky breached. Sillick's back, leg, and pelvis were broken when Orky landed on top of him. Sillick sued SeaWorld and received an out-of-court settlement, the details of which are under a gag order still, apparently.
Whoa.
According to Sillick's lawyer, after several operations, Sillick can again walk, but his activity is limited. Orky may have been responding to another trainer's perceived signal to breach. Court documents are sealed, but the judge's remarks, which were not sealed, revealed that Orky may have had visual limitations that had not been disclosed to the trainer.
Jesus.
Okay. June 12th, 1999, 23-year-old Kasatka.
That's my birthday.
Like your actual birthday?
Yeah.
99?
Yeah. No, I'm not.
99. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're born.
Not my
99.
birth date. I was turning 13 on that day.
Okay. Kasatka grabbed her trainer, Ken Peters, who will be a recurring character in these, by the leg and attempted to throw him from the pool during a public show at SeaWorld San Diego. In late July 2004, during a show at the SeaWorld Park in San Antonio, Texas, a male orca named
Keanu?
Keanu
Kyuquot, nicknamed Kai. I don't know why. Repeatedly jumped on top of his trainer, Steve Abel, forcing him underwater and barred the trainer from escaping the waters. After several minutes, the trainer was able to calm the animal, and he exited the pool unhurt. Veterinarians believe the whale felt threatened by the trainer, perhaps a result of the effects of adolescent hormones. On November... Huh?
Sorry. We've all been there.
Yeah.
I just got to eat this motherfucker. I don't know why. It's just, hormones. November 15th, 2006, a SeaWorld San Diego trainer was injured when the park's 18-year-old female killer whale, Orchid, with a K, of course, grabbed veteran trainer Brian Rokeach by the foot and pulled him to the bottom of the tank, refusing to release him for an extended period of time. Orchid released Rokeach, so many fucking weird words, only after heating fellow trainer Kenneth Peters repeated attempts to call the animal's attention back to the stage. Rokeach suffered a torn ligament in his ankle, but was not taken to the hospital. Because why would you treat it? Yeah, walk off your ligament, bro.
Yeah.
In response to the incident, SeaWorld increased the number of trainers who must be available during performances and in water training to 5 staff members. But this was ineffective because no more than 2 weeks later, trainer Kenneth Peters was involved in a similar incident with a different orca.
Nice.
On November 29th, 2006, Kasatka, one of SeaWorld San Diego's then 7 orcas, grabbed her trainer, Ken Peters, by the foot and dragged him to the bottom of the tank twice during an evening show at Shamu Stadium. The senior trainer escaped only after staff members managed to separate the two with safety nets. This was the second documented incident of Kasatka attacking Peters. The first attack had occurred in 1999. And the last one, on February 24th, that's the last one with Ken Peters.
Yeah.
I want to point out, I feel like maybe it was fucking Ken Peters that was the issue here.
Right. Well, yeah.
This is of course they're fucking attacking them. Like you're forcing them to perform and shit.
Yeah.
What was Ken Peters doing going back? Like,
yeah.
I don't know about you, but after 2, I'd be like, I think I'm just gonna go back to college to be an accountant or something, guys.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
not into it.
Sorry.
Not into it anymore.
I can only be forced to the bottom of a killer whale tank so many times before I'm like, maybe I need an office job.
I mean, it kind of tracks with the movies, though.
My job.
It kind of tracks with the movies, though, right? Like he fucking gets attacked by a shark 7 times and fucking becomes a fucking marine biologist. Or something.
Right.
Okay, this is the last one. This is the one that actually sucks pretty bad. On February 24th, 2010, toward the end of Dine with Shamu show at SeaWorld Orlando, the orca Tilikum pulled down an experienced trainer, Don Brancheau, a 40-year-old with extensive training experience, drowned as at least 24 tourists looked on from above a whale tank and from an underwater viewing area. Brancheau is finishing up a session with Tilikum, the largest orca in SeaWorld's collection. Following the Dine with Shamu show. Following this incident, trainers no longer go into the water with the orcas at SeaWorld shows.
Yeah. And I stand by the fucking orcas.
Yeah, bro.
Every single one of them.
100%.
Yeah. What's crazy, I just saw a video.
Imagine being forced to live in a fucking cave. Like, you're a gigantic fucking animal.
Yeah.
And you could just swim in a circle.
Yeah. I saw a TikTok the other day of a woman paddleboarding, and she was freaking the fuck out because a school of killer whales were like coming up to her paddleboard, and she's like freaking out. But like everybody in the comments and other people were pointing out, they were like, they're just making sure you're okay.
Yeah. Like if they're in the ocean,
they're not.
They're pretty much going to be your friend unless you somehow manage to give them a reason to be pissed.
Like even though I know that, I'd still freak the fuck out.
I would be. They're giants. They're huge.
Yeah.
Nice.
A lot cooler than Jaws. You know?
Yes.
Can we? I'm still kind of upset that the Dolphins got a Razzie.
Yeah, dude.
That's fucked up,
nominated.
man.
I don't think they actually won it.
Oh, okay, okay. Nominated.
Still.
That's
okay.
Then they I think they nominated the shark from Jaws 4.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I hope they better have nominated it.
Yeah.
Let's end on that. Let's end on that one, guys.
Rotten Tomatoes or Letterboxd. We're just calling it.
Yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah. God, Derek, you're slacking.
All right, let's go.
We managed to fit way too many killer whale attacks in and didn't do the tradition.
Yeah. So this one's interesting. Jaws 2 tomato meter is 62% and audience score is 39%.
What?
Damn.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Letterboxd is 2.7. All right. So 3D, we've got 11% tomato meter and a 17% audience score and a 1.8 on Letterboxd.
Jesus Christ.
And then you got the best one of them all. The Revenge, 2% tomato meter.
2 dose.
Is that our lowest qualifying tomato meter?
Did we have a 0 at one point?
Yeah, I think we had some that
wasn't even on there.
Oh, okay. Is it 0 because there weren't enough?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think it was one of the
Leprechaun
Leprechaun
also
movies.
a shit movie.
This is 2. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was
I
one
think
of the
it was.
It's
I think
so
so
bad. Like, we're not.
But this is 2% with how many reviews?
42.
Jesus.
Wow.
So one positive review.
And then audience score, you have 50,000 plus ratings at a 15%.
Ooh.
And then
For Jaws of Revenge,
50,000 at 15%.
That's about right.
Fucking wild.
It's a 15% movie.
No, it's a 50% movie for sure.
But it's good.
You would think that some of those would have buoyed it a little bit.
Yeah. And Letterboxd, it's a 1.6.
Oh, I didn't realize how generous I was being with my 2.5 stars on Letterboxd. I went to IMDb when I was watching The Revenge, and the first 3 or 4 reviews are all 1 out of 10, and they're like absolute fucking dog shit, cash grab, piece of shit, garbage movie, and I'm like,
yeah, of course.
What? It's not that bad. I mean,
yeah, it's still fun.
It's got Mario Van Peebles.
You got Michael Caine.
Yeah,
Mario Van Peebles is
good. Michael Caine.
Jaws takes down a plane.
I saw a little tiny clip on. Yeah, he does. He fucking
he fucking hates boats. He hates things that fly.
I 100% thought that fucking Michael Caine was just done. I thought that he just got ate on the boat, and then I kind of stopped paying attention because Michael Caine's dead now to me. And then I kind of look back up after a minute or two, and he's back in the movie, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And I had to run it back and be like, oh, he just climbs back out of the water like nothing happened.
I love that shot because like he's standing there on the plane and he's like, go. And then the Jaws like jumps up and he's like, oh shit. And then he turns off.
So good.
Oh, fuck. Michael Caine.
I think that this is the first franchise where it's pretty much just consistent. Like, I love, like, the first one is is number one, and then 2 is number 2, 3 is number 3 for me, and 4 is fucking number 4. Like, it's just steady decline.
Yeah. But they're all fun.
Yeah.
For some fucking reason.
That's
some
the thing
stupid reason.
Like,
I enjoyed every one of them.
At the end of when I first finished 4, I was like, man, I'm glad that I don't have any more Jaws movies to watch. And then like yesterday and today, I was like,
wish there was more Jaws movies.
I feel like there should be some more Jaws movies, and I want there.
It's a
usually
one.
when we reach the end of a franchise, I'm like, thank God we're done with that. And this one, it felt the same. I mean, granted, this one's
I could go
shorter.
for 1 or 2 more.
It is a lot shorter.
Yeah.
It's only
we could watch
movies.
Cruel Jaws, which is technically not a Jaws movie. We could watch The Last Shark, which is the one that was legally taken down for being a complete
the exact
rip-off
same
of the original Jaws.
Yeah.
Well, Cruel Shark has a lot of scenes from, I think, all 3 of 2, 3, and 4. I think there's scenes that they took from. Yeah. Well, it's an Italian movie, right? And they fucking just like they took.
They're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took scenes from it.
Yeah, they don't care.
It's on Prime right now. I started it this morning and was like, I can't watch this today.
I think that one's also on Tubi and one of the other ones, and then The Last Shark is on Tubi, which is crazy that it's like available to just stream on a free site now when there was like a whole takedown, you can't release this movie because it's plagiarism.
Right.
But
and also, I definitely want not to mention the millions of other movies that this fucking spawned.
Oh my God.
Yeah. From,
I really
Alligator to.
I really want to do Deep Blue Sea. I really want to do the Meg movies. I really want to do Orca still.
It's a megalodon.
The Meg movies are. I haven't seen the second one.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one. But the first one was fucking.
It's
great.
just fucking fun, and
megalodon.
I want to watch Cruel Jaws. I want to watch more fucking dumb shark content.
Yeah.
And at some point, I'm going to push it off as far as we can, but at some point we'll get into Sharknado, I guess.
You just make your way into Tremors. I mean, it's fucking
megalodon.
I'd be down to watch Tremors.
Tremors franchise will be a fun one, except I don't think any of us realize how many Tremors movies there actually are now.
I've seen 4 or 5 of them. The last one I saw was I watched part of the Western one, because the Western one was like, all right, come on guys, we've gotten too far off the ball here.
That was the
you mean to tell me
this
is a megalodon.
What's funny is that Bert is in all of them.
Yeah, he's the Mother Brody of the Tremors.
Yes.
Oh man.
Okay, so the last one was with him and John Heder, aka Napoleon Dynamite.
Is that the winter one?
It's Tremors Shrieker Island.
This episode just keeps getting worse and worse.
Seen that one?
Also known as Tremors 7. Tremors 7, formerly known as Tremors Island Fury from 2020.
Wow.
But yeah, the 7th film in the franchise.
Richard
Brake.
They got to get so bad.
Yeah.
Those have to be so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the Western one, I was like, I couldn't finish the Western one because I was like, hold on. So it was completely just logic, because I was like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that this shit happened in the 1800s and there's zero documentation about it.
There's zero megalodons.
Like, that's so fucking insane to me that I was like, I can't watch this.
No megalodons.
Oh, megalodons. Yeah, there's a Shrieker Island. The one before that was A Cold Day in Hell.
That's the winter one.
Bloodlines. Yeah, I can't remember which one.
I love how many movies are like, we're on like the fucking 80th movie. Just call it Bloodlines. Fuck it.
We could do a whole Bloodlines episode, because there's Pet Sematary Bloodlines, there's Hellraiser Bloodline, and now there's another Bloodline movie coming soon.
This
but I remember when Jamie Kennedy was in it.
What?
Because he started. That was Bloodlines. It was 2015.
Really?
And I volunteered working at Universal Studios. I volunteered to be an escort for Halloween Horror Nights. I think that was the same year that we had celebrities that would show up and then walk the red carpet, and they get footage of them going through the mazes. And Jamie Kennedy showed up with one of the like graboid tongues around his neck, as
That's
if it was
awesome.
like, as if
That's
he
cool.
you killed a tremor on the way there, or graboid on the way there. And
It'd be funny if nobody knew what the reference was.
I don't think they did, because he was in Tremors 5 that was straight to DVD. So yeah, I even saw it and I was like, that's a graboid. Fuck, is Jamie Kennedy in another Tremors movie? Like, I didn't realize they were still making them. I saw the first 2 and that was it.
The second one's pretty good, just because it's like, oh, like now they can fucking jump on land and shit. Like, all right, cool.
Is Reba only in the first one, or is she coming back for any of them?
I don't know.
Don't think so. I think she's only in the first one, which is why the first one's the best.
Oh yeah.
Reba's
she's
the best goddamn
incredible.
character in that whole movie.
She's incredible.
Reba and Kevin Bacon, obviously. I'm still so bummed that they had a TV show planned with Kevin Bacon and they killed it.
Yep.
I really want, because it's the second or third one where, I think it's the third one, where some investor shows up in order to, like, his plan is to make a Tremors, a graboid theme park in Mexico, and
then they attack.
I think so. Like, he gets eaten before. I think it goes downhill before anything happens.
Yeah, they try to do like a Jurassic Park, but with
something like that.
Yeah. What are the odds?
But I just really want. I love theme park movies, like fucking Beverly Hills Cop 3. Fucking Jaws 3. Like, I love theme park movies, and a graboid theme park in Mexico is so
real
fucking.
graboids.
That would be I think that it was supposed to be like animatronic graboids and shit. But like, bro, how good that would have been! Fucking incredible.
Yeah. This episode has spiraled out of control,
much like the Jaws
franchise.
Exactly, just like the Jaws franchise.
I feel like we have entered Jaws 4 territory.
Yeah, I think there was a chunk, like we talked about Jaws 2, and then there's a chunk where you're like, now it's about theme parks. What the fuck? And
this honestly, completely
that's so
unplanned.
perfect.
That works. Yeah,
that really works.
We're talking about families, and we're good.
That really worked.
We got to talk about theme parks and family at the same time.
Yeah,
family.
That really worked.
Family, and a megalodon.
And a megalodon.
All right, I think that's it for this one.
I think that's fucking it, mate.
It's a megalodon. It's a megalodon.
It's a fucking megalodon.
It's a megalodon.